I think it's about time that we start being honest with ourselves. Dating is officially chalked. I mean, like, man, if you're a young guy right now and you feel like the game is rigged against you, it's probably because it is. Trust me, you're not imagining the fact that you're lonely. You're not imagining those lonely nights, and you're definitely not weak for feeling hopeless. You know, you're just looking at the current meta of the dating world, and you might be sitting here right now looking at your computer, scratching your head, wondering what that winning move is. And that's the crazy thing. The winning move is actually to be above the game. We've reached a point where the cost of trying when it comes to dating, whether it's financially or mentally with investment or even socially with the people around you, it's so high that honestly giving up, the thought of just giving in and just being like, whatever, I don't care anymore, it's starting to become the default state for a lot of guys. But I strongly urge you, I mean, you clicked on this video for a reason. I'm here to help you guys. The reason that you're losing, or the reason why you feel like you're losing, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're playing in the wrong arenas. You're likely deploying a lot of your personality and a lot of what you got going on in the wrong crowd, with the wrong marketing strategy, with the wrong intended outcome. You know, if you're watching this, you're probably trying to find genuine connection with people in places that may not be designed to actually be conducive to that. You know, a lot of places where you could find connection or have the illusion of finding connection, they're designed to farm your attention and obviously your wallet. It's just the unfortunate reality of being single and looking to expand your life in 2026. So there's a lot of complicated factors that go in here, but number one, the first thing I want to talk about here is dating apps. And I'm not super anti-dating apps. I know a lot of people, a lot of doomers here in the commentary community are going to say like, oh, you know, dating apps are just trying to extract you of your money and there's nothing you can get out of it. Now, what I will say is if you don't go into dating apps with the proper amount of investment, the proper amount of detachment, and also just having a shred or an iota of self-respect, you're going to get ran over. You just are. You know, as much as these dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, like you could probably know all of them. As much as they market as being like it's a matchmaking service, find the love of your life or find a cheap casual thrill, it's not a matchmaking service. It's more like a digital casino, honestly, with validation as the currency. And it's all based on a sick, twisted algorithm, just like social media. But it's okay. Algorithms aren't always a bad thing. Just not being aware of them is where they can be manipulative. You know, the algorithm isn't designed to find you a girlfriend. It's there to keep you with the proper amount of retention swiping. So if you find somebody, the app loses a customer. Now, just think back about like the toxic nature of any time that you've been on the app and you're swiping, and finally it's the perfect girl. And then, bam, you run out of swipes. So what do? You hook up your Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or whatever it is, and maybe you buy premium. Trust me, like there's no embarrassment in doing this. Just realize that it is a retention-based algorithm, and there's a reason why that happened. They didn't take your money by accident. I mean, these companies got a lot of men in the position of literally paying for the chance to potentially be rejected by someone who might not even be real. Or if they are real, they might not actually be a genuine person. So either way, they're fake. And then you got to look at the player base. You got to look at the people that are on the app. You got half the people on there who are just there for a hit of validation, like the top 1%ers. You know, they have no intention of meeting up unless you're just absolutely drop dead gorgeous. They're there for the same reason why they post on Instagram. They want a notification to pop up on their phone. And then as toxic as that is, the other half of people who are on the app are there taking it way too seriously. Now, if you fall into this category, I don't mean any offense by it, but seriously, like take a second to listen. You know, you're treating your profile like it's a job application. You're treating these messages like you're in the interview stages of a job. I get why you're doing that. You're trying to min-max. You probably play video games. You're trying to hit your score multiplier or whatever. When the stakes go up, the pressure goes up, and then things go inorganic. That's just how it goes. So at that point, you represent being the guy who's competing with thousands of other guys for the attention of somebody who's already overwhelmed. It doesn't work. So if you are somebody who peruses dating apps, I recommend just being casual and chill about it. Back when I used to use like Tinder or Bumble or whatever, I would just kind of like mess around, joke with people, show my genuine personality. But if I got a message back, I wasn't picturing what the wedding was going to look like. And you shouldn't either. And if you're not on a dating app, then you have something honestly even worse to look forward to. Bar culture. If you're in your 20s, I'm sure people ask you to go to bars. Maybe you enjoy going to bars. I don't judge. Free country, wherever you want to go. Bars have genuinely never been my thing. They never will be, as much as I've tried to force it, as much as I've tried to like meet people there, make friends, maybe find like a girl or whatever. It's never, ever, not even once been a fruitful endeavor for me. I hate it. My friends know that I hate it. And as stubborn as I am, and as much as I say that I hate it, I still go. I try to have a good time. I regret it almost every time. With bar culture, we're told that this is where you're gonna go to meet people. This is where, you know, this is where you find your future wife. This is where you find your girlfriend. This is where you find your best man. But I want to paint a little bit of a picture for you. It's loud. It's expensive. It's sticky. You're paying $15 per drink. Now that's the type of thing that's gonna add up. And I think one of my least favorite things about bars is just how loud the music is. Maybe I'm lame, but like if you're gonna meet somebody somewhere, you gotta be able to talk to them. If they're blasting the music, you cannot have a genuine conversation. That's just not how it is. It's all surface level. And you know, it's really hard to get a read on somebody and understand what they're all about and what their values are when you can really only talk to them in keywords. And they can only make out half of what you're saying in the first place. And what I've found, I'm 27 years old now at this point. I have a lot of friends who have gone through different phases going to the bars. I still have friends that go to the bar. I have some friends that are significantly younger than me that go to the bar. I have friends that are older than me that go to the bar. I have a pretty wide range here. I've noticed a lot of people do not go to the bars to connect with each other. They go there to escape. They're either escaping their job, they're escaping their relationship, they're escaping their friends, they're escaping their parents, they're escaping their home, whatever it is, they're there for an escapism. And you don't escape to find what's next unless you're in a really bad situation. And when you're in a bad situation and you're fishing for your next thing, probably not going to be good either. You know, people in that environment tend to be drunk, annoying, they tend to be too much or over exaggerated. A lot of them, it feels like they're looking for a temporary social high, and then they pick you up, and then bam, poof, they're gone. They disappear. And when you're trying to build your life, when you're focused on how lonely you are, you're focused on whatever your next phase is, you don't want to be around a bunch of people who are about as deep as a puddle. You want to submerge yourself in something deeper than that. You know, when you're at the bar, women cheat, men cheat. It's all a big game of pretend. Why would you want to look for your next teammate in life in a place where everybody's just trying to forget what they have going on? Now let's move the location here from outside. Let's bring it inside the house. This is where the withdrawal happens. You know, it's like almost like a rotting in your bedroom aesthetic that everybody seems to be addicted to. It's so trendy and like on brand to rebrand isolation as, you know, quote unquote, protecting my peace, which is some of the most pretentious stuff I've ever heard. It's so popular to just make rotting in your room almost look like an aesthetic. It's, if you're in a situation where you want to build self-esteem and build a life for yourself, you can't build something while you're in a hole. I think that's really what it is. And then when we're in that situation, we're talking about, oh, I'm going to be forever alone. I'm going to be alone forever. Like it's a terminal disease, but it's not something you were diagnosed with. It's just something that you seem to be manifesting for yourself. You know, you might be sitting in your room convincing yourself that the world is an absolute wasteland for you, so you could stay in your bunker. You know, at least you know what's in your bunker. At least you're comfy, but don't convince yourself that you're at peace. You're just hiding in a cage. Now, in terms of actually doing something productive with these feelings and just knowing like, hey, like the bar's not for me, the dating app may not be for me, yada, yada, yada. It's not about doing a massive overhaul to your life. It's about winning micro battles. You know, if the whole thing of loneliness is a war, you just have a bunch of micro battles that, imagine like a staircase where you take one step a day or one step a week or one step a month. You're going somewhere. It just takes time. You know, look for organic opportunities to talk to people. And on that same note, look for what is an inorganic opportunity and choose wisely. If you see a girl at the gym and she has headphones on, just leave her alone. Don't go hit on her. Don't go socialize with her. Don't be attached to her. Just let her be. On the other hand, if you're at the grocery store, you're standing online and there's a Karen at the front of the line yelling at the cashier, you see a girl online with you, make a joke. That's much more organic. Bottom line is, 1% per day adds up really quickly. So yeah, stop going to bars, stop manifesting the brain rot, win micro battles, show up as a real person authentically in a world where people expect everybody to be fake. You never ever know who's looking at you, and if they see something authentic, they might keep looking.